Hi guys, my name is Aylin Marsella and welcome to my course, the Confident Actor course. If you purchase this course, congratulations, because your life as an actor is literally about to change. When I first started in the industry years ago, I honestly was told so many different things. There was just so many different avenues that people take to try to get to where they are. I heard the dark sides of the industry as well as the quick fixes that people try to hit in order to get to where they want to be. And all I have to say is in this course, you're going to learn the correct way to break into the industry. And just keep in mind, this is a marathon. It is not a race. There is a place for everyone in the industry, all sorts of looks, all sorts of talent, all sorts of skills. And there is a place for you as well. If you're willing to put in the work that this course takes you through, if you're willing to listen to the modules and really take the time to apply this knowledge, then you will also become the actor that you want to be and you will become a confident actor. So, a little bit about me, just so you know who the heck you're learning from. My name is Aylin Marsella. I am 25 years old. I am an immigrant from Mexico. I was born in Mexico 25 years ago, and my family brought me over here when I was about 6 months old. And since then, I have grown up being told the classic American dream story, especially as an immigrant, that you come here, you work hard, you become a doctor, you become a professional, and that is the path you take. And then you retire at, I don't even know how old, whenever you're able to retire financially, if, there's still even retirement by then. And then you have a family and you go about your life. And everybody else and every other generation after that does the exact same thing until the world collapses, apparently. But I always knew since I was younger that I was not meant for that life. The idea of a 9-to-5 forever literally scars me. Truly, I think I get nightmares about it every day. Working a 9-to-5 or doing the same thing every day truly, I think, drove me insane for the majority of my life. However, I just continue to follow that path because that's what I thought that I was supposed to do. When I turned 18 years old, I was very hesitant to go to college, but my parents were very much like, if you don't go to college, then you're going to be a failure in life, so you have to go to college. So even though I did a little bit of theater and had a love for acting and creativity and art when I was younger, I went to college. I left all of that behind. I went to college, studied psychology, got my bachelor's degree in general psychology. But after I graduated, I definitely did not feel fulfilled. I felt like college drained my soul, not to mention I was already a sad, depressed little 18, 19-year-old. So by the time I was about to graduate, I was absolutely ecstatic to get out of there. So when I graduated college, I basically handed my little degree over to my parents and was like, all right, bye, I'm moving to New York. When I made the choice to move to New York, I told nobody until my deposit was paid on my lease, because I knew that nobody would agree with my choice. And I knew that the idea of telling them that even though I had just studied a career in psychology for the past 4 years, 4.5, I believe, and now I'm deciding that I want to move to New York spontaneously and become an actor, I knew that was absolutely gonna give them a heart attack. So I told no one. That's my story. I told absolutely no one. I just moved to New York. I had never even been to New York. I just knew that my inner child wanted to go to New York. And at that point, I was so tired of listening to what everybody else had to tell me about my life and had to say about what I should be doing in life, that at that point, by the time I graduated college, I decided it was time for me to take full accountability and it was time for me to take full control of my life. So I moved to New York spontaneously, and that is where I met my roommate at the time that was a cinematographer. And he basically asked me why I was going to New York, why I had moved to New York, and I told him, I don't really know. I'm kind of just, deciding what's meant for me. Sorry if you guys keep seeing lights because I have my notes right here to know what I'm going to talk about. I told him, I'm just moving to New York. Like, everybody wants to move to New York, right? And I remember him looking at me dead in the face and was like, girl, why are you moving to New York? And then eventually, under my breath, very subtly, I told him, I want to be an actor. And he absolutely reassured and confirmed the fact that that was absolutely possible in New York, which obviously it is. Everybody, once you move to New York, you realize that everybody in New York is an actor. Deadass. Excuse my language. So now that you guys know a little bit about my story and how the odds were very much against me. I mean, I was a Mexican immigrant. I literally came from Mexico. I grew up in a small town in Colorado, Western Colorado, a town nobody knew about. I studied a full career in something else, had people that were not supportive of me whatsoever, decided to move to New York and take that autonomy and just push myself to get to where I want to go, then that is a guarantee for you that you can do the same thing as well. Despite what everybody says, you don't need to live in LA and you don't need to live in New York in order to book gigs. You really don't. And I used to think that was the case, especially growing up in Western Colorado. I was discouraged from becoming an actor because I was in a small town in Colorado. Everybody did the same thing. Everybody dated each other. Everybody worked a 9 to 5. Everybody graduated high school and then got married and had kids. I did not think that I would ever be able to be an actor and to be in movies and to be in commercials and music videos. I did not think that was possible for me. And since moving back from New York, the highest paying gigs and my first feature film that I have done have been from the Western Slope. So I can guarantee to you that you do not need to live in LA and you do not need to live in New York in order to be able to apply the skills that this course teaches. So a couple course promises. What this course is not. It is not a scammy, overpriced course. Every time that I see little testimonials and little courses that get promoted on TikTok, and I always see how, you know, they go through their whole splurb, whatever, on their little Zoom call. And then afterwards they were like, oh, just for $3,000, you can learn everything in this course. Girl, do you think if I had $3,000, I would take your course? Girl, I'm clearly trying to learn from you so I can make that type of money. So let me tell you, this course is not scammy. It's not overpriced. It is not the type of course that is going to charge you $1 million and teach you absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, I just want to help actors get off the ground. Like, I want to help people get out of the whole, oh, I'm an aspiring actor. After this course, you're not going to be an aspiring actor anymore. You're going to be an industry professional. You're going to be working in the industry and you're going to be getting gigs independently. Today I went to a gig, actually. I went to a costume fitting and I was there with 2 other actors and I had told them that I had booked the gig independently, which it is a high paying gig. I won't even lie. I'm not going to get into details because that's another thing, is keeping your professionalism. Like, you don't kiss and tell, girl. You don't book and tell. You can share the knowledge you have, but don't go telling the whole world how much you make. Like, keep it professional, keep it cutesy. But the whole point is, I had told them that I had booked the gig independently, even though they had booked through an agent, and they were astonished. They were honestly surprised that I was able to do that. And they were like, oh, girl, pat yourself on the back. So my goal is to get you guys to that point where you're able to book independently without an agent, without overpriced workshops, without a crazy acting teacher, or these crazy experiences where they make you feel like you need to go to a conservatory and do all these crazy things to be able to become an actor. Which I've never been to one, but I've heard these like horror stories about the industry. Luckily, I've kept myself protected. Thank you, universe. But I have heard some horror stories in the industry. Like, I've heard people just say the most things, like people just doing scammy deals, getting with like, you know. So this course is not that. This course is generally to teach you guys every single step that I've done to get myself to where I am, to where I've been on red carpets, I've booked commercials, I've booked modeling gigs, I've booked gigs with Kiehl's, with Moroccan Oil, with Wendy's. Like, I've booked gigs, you know what I mean? That's where I'm trying to get you guys to be, is to book independently without anyone and not be scammed. Like, actually learn practical tools to get you to where you want to go. So my guarantee is, if you guys put in the work, like genuinely put in the things that I'm telling you to do, don't just watch it and be like, okay, cool, and click out of it. Like, no, girl, if I tell you to sign up for this, or if I tell you to do this, or if I tell you to do this work, do it and you'll see the results. And I want to hear about it. So yeah, let me know how it goes. And so how to get the most out of this course is listen to what I have to say, truly take it in. Even if you know a little bit about acting, you never know what you might learn. I'm definitely the type of industry professional that wherever I go, I'm mingling, I'm networking, I'm trying to learn from everyone, from the PA to the extra, to the director, to the producer, to whoever. I'm trying to learn from everyone, and I'm trying to network with everyone because you never know what somebody might teach you. Even though you may know some things, you never know what else you could learn. So keep an open mind, keep open eyes, and listen, take your notes, study the material, and apply each step before you move on to the next. Because I'm going to try to make this course very step by step as to how I believe that you should kind of do things to get to where you want to go. So make sure you follow each step before you move on to the next. Don't be like me, has taken courses before where I take a million notes and then I never open my dang notebook again. Like, no, girl, make sure you're applying each step before you move on to the next. That is what will serve you the best. This is a fun acting course, you know, this is not a little boring like college one. So put in the work, you'll get the results. If you are ready to begin, then click on to module number 2 and let's get started. Good luck on your journey.